beautiful heart, and she knows I got her back, and I kept my word bond to her since I met her. So what I'm going to do is sit and listen to your story.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank all y'all for coming, and I want to thank y'all for being a part of the solution instead of the problem. I'm not sure how much you all, let me start over again. I want to thank everybody for coming because, you know, I want to thank everybody that is being a part of the solution as opposed to being a part of the problem. We know we got a lot of things going on out here. My story in particular is my daughter, Unique Harris, was abducted from her home while my two grandsons were sleeping, 12 and a half. October the 10th of this year will be 13 years. She was taken out of her home while my grandsons were sleeping. And I've been on a mission, not just for my grandson and my family, but other families that have gone through these types of things ever since. It's nowhere that, you know, I won't go to spread the word and the love that I have for my people. And when I say my people, I mean my people. Because my people are the ones that are the least represented. Brother Levon, you spoke on something very, very powerful earlier. I want to take a little bit of break right here and say happy birthday to my father who passed away on Memorial Day 2021. He was definitely one of my rocks. He was definitely one of the ones that was in my corner from day one. And I love and miss him, and today would have been his 78th birthday. And I just wanted to say that, but I also want to touch on what Brother Levon was saying earlier before I came up here. We have so many things that are going on, or that our attention is being diverted to nowadays. So sometimes stories like my daughter's story gets caught up in, you know, the media machine. I've had the media even tell me that my daughter's story wasn't good enough for their network. But just like any other mother that would be going through what I'm going through, that was not and will never, never, ever be good enough for me and our children. I have 4 grandchildren, 2 of which are Unique's children. Her son, her oldest son, Richard, is graduating high school this year. Through the odds, my grandson has managed to stay focused, on task, and, you know, I'm just so proud of my grandsons. I mean, like I tell them all the time, everything I do that I do for your mother, I do for you all. Because I want you all to know, it's not about falling down. It's about getting back up. We as a people always get back up. And that's the message that I want to relay. 10-10-10, my daughter Unique was taken out of her home, and of course we haven't seen or heard from her since. But the good news now, which I can't elaborate on too much because we have the trial and everything coming up now, and I say that to say, all the blood, sweat, and tears that I put into finding out what happened to my child and getting resolution. I prefer the word resolution because there is no closure in a situation like this. There's no such thing. Even if my daughter came back to her children right now, that is almost 13 years that both of her sons have had to move on and function and, become productive, constructive members of society. That's not easy when you are 3 and 4 years old and you go to sleep one night and your mother is there and you wake up the next morning and she's gone. My oldest grandson still has sleeping issues to this day in reference to that one dreadful night, October the 10th, 2010. And as far as going back to what I was saying about what Brother Levon was talking about, you are sowing the bullseye all the time. And that's why there's nothing that he won't ask me to do that I will not give everything I have to do. Because the first time I met you over on Pennsylvania Avenue, him and his family was so loving and accepting and supportive of me till I really and truly couldn't believe it. It was kind of a weird thing because when we walked in that day, I didn't even realize until my brother David Wheeler back there let me know that my daughter's story was playing on the screen. I had no idea I was going to walk in and see my daughter's story. It was either The View or TV One, Found Out Missing, or one of the interviews and things that I had done in reference to trying to find out what happened to my daughter and where my child was. And ever since then, you and your family and the nation have been nothing but a pillar of support and strength for me, and I thank you all for that. I thank you all for that, because when we're going through things like this, there are a lot of people that will say that they will support us. And I'm talking about blood family as well. And, oh, you need me, call me, and whatever you need. And the minute they get that call from you, the script just totally flips. And so that's why I like to come out and, give as much support as I can to not just this topic, but our topics, whether it's sexual exploitation, whether it's these unsolved murders that our system can't seem to get their mind around. I find it really, really insulting when, and I'm just going to say this, the United States has time for everybody else's business but our business right here on American soil. I am so sick and tired of them diverting our attention from these issues and situations that matter to stuff that really, to be honest with you, ain't even none of our business. They find money for wars, like Tupac said, but they can't feed the poor. Something's wrong with that. When I ride down the street now in my vehicle, I see so many homeless people out here till it does something to my soul. It really does something to my soul. And the way I fight back is, I give up my time. Like I said, I'll go wherever I need to go to get the point across to other families that have unresolved family members and loved ones. I've even had parents that they know that their child is in some type of sex trafficking ring or being exploited or something like that. They don't know what to do about it. And those are the things that we should be able to go to our government. But as we can see, it never has been and it never will be our government. We are our government. Because when I went looking for help to find my daughter at the proper arenas, all I got was backlash and shut down. And, I even had people that hang up the phone on me when I'm pouring my heart out and pleading, begging, help me find my child. Help me find out what happened to my child. And by the grace of God, He has put some amazing people in my life to help me through this God-awful situation. He's also helped to lead me right where I needed to go. That's why I'm willing to go where God leads me. And I'm willing to speak to as many people as I have to. I'm willing to help as many families as I possibly can. Because, truth be told, when I first got into this, I didn't know what to do. There's no manual on if your child comes up missing, this is what you're supposed to do, A, B, C, D. We have to figure it out for ourselves. And I noticed that a lot of what they're talking about on the news, brother, has nothing to do with us. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. Anybody that's heard, let's just say over the last year, any talk from any of these politicians, whether they're up on the hill, wherever they are, any of these politicians that's speaking on our issues about what's happening to our children and our community, raise your hand. They're talking about everything else. We're not Ukrainians, but all them gazillions of dollars that they sending over there, you mean to tell me that they can't put a few million into helping our families, to find our loved ones, to track them down? I've had extortion threats from people. Now imagine that. Who could be that low to extort an unresolved murder situation, missing person situation, any of that? I was totally like, because I just simply wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised like that. You try to take advantage of somebody's bad situation. I was raised to, if you can't help somebody, like my grandmother used to say, God bless and God rest Cora Bacon Harris's soul. If you can't help somebody, it's best that you leave them alone. Because everything you do to them in contrary to helping, you may think it's behind you, but it's right in front of you, staring you in your face. And you can't get around it. So I just like to come out and speak, and actually it's therapeutic for me to be able to speak and feel like, I put my information out there for anybody that wants to reach me or contact me. My daughter, I built a website for her, urlhfoundation1.org. I'm definitely on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I even tweet, y'all. I don't know too much about it, but trust me, when you're in a situation like this, you learn. Because I had a Facebook before my daughter, was taken, but I may have been on there once a month. And it turned into every day, multiple times a day. Because that is one thing that I can agree with, is that social media is very, very powerful. And we have to all start spreading the word. We have to spread the word just like they spread the word on their foolishness and evil, wicked stuff that they want to spread the word on. We got to spread the word on what's going on in our community, with our families. Because if we don't, we can see it's not going to get done. I can't even explain how hard it was for me to even simply get my daughter's name and story out here. I had so many doors slammed in my face. And then you look on the news, and I'm just gonna say it. White girl, 3 days, they all over the news. My daughter didn't get on the news until literally months. And it had to be my tenacity, because nobody ain't gonna give us anything. They're not gonna give us anything. We have to stand up on the shoulders of our ancestors, which is a thing that I give total and complete credit to the people that God put in my life to raise and rear me into the woman that I am today. If I didn't have those people and those lessons and blessings that they gave and instilled in me, I wouldn't have made it, y'all. I wouldn't have made it, because a lot of people don't know. And then a lot of people do, because I put it all over social media. I used to be out here on drugs. Out here on drugs. Alcohol, you name it. But God has kept me clean for over 20 years.
Yes.
Over 20 years. And even with this, when this happened with my daughter, thank you. But even when this happened with my daughter, first thing they tell you, oh, you need to go see a psychiatrist. First thing the psychiatrist want to do is medicate you. And if we are not willing to stand up like I did and say, I'm not trading street drugs for y'all drugs, we'll be in an even worse situation. Anything that takes us outside of our own control over our own thinking and processing situations, and I'm really, really glad that I did that, because it helped me to process my feelings instead of covering them up. I knew that would only cover it up. And I wasn't going to allow a psychiatrist or nobody to tell me that their drugs was better than me doing it of my own volition. Like I told the last psychiatrist, she's, said, what did she say? Something like, what would make you feel better and be able to relax and rest and all this other type of stuff. And I told her, I'm looking at her because I'm like, she really doesn't get it. If you can't give me my daughter back, don't talk to me about all this other stuff. Because it's irrelevant to me. That's the only thing that's going to fix my problem, is to get my child back. But the message that I want to leave everybody with is that if something like this happens to your family member or loved one, be ready to stand on a mountain of no's to get to that one yes you need. And it can make all the difference in the world. And once again, I thank y'all. I love all of y'all. I appreciate y'all. And Brother Levon, he has all my contact information. I never know, it's a couple of events that I went to that after the fact, somebody wound up in my same position. And I was so glad that I left my contact information, because they could get in contact with me. Because like I said, we don't have a manual or an instruction book on how to deal with this. And anything that I know and have learned over these last 12, 13 years, I'm more than willing and happy and honored to be able to share it. And hopefully and prayerfully bring some resolution to another family's bad situation, just like mine. Again, thank you all for listening to me. I love you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Our sister said 13 years. Some of us can't deal with a loved one we lost 13 is a long time, and have the strength to actually tell a story in the composure and the trial. So, you put together on a bad day, I'm pretty sure there's someone up there on top of it, hands down, that will spot real bad day.